I work on the areas of all the abilities of the database: performance, scalability, reliability, availability, all the fun stuff. So it's my pleasure to be here today to talk to you a little bit about a few topics, some around high availability, which is our database mirroring feature. I presented and did a demo last year. I wanted to give you an update on that functionality. I also wanted to talk a little bit about cloud computing, and we'll start with that because it's a very big topic, and I just wanted to give you an idea about what InterSystems is doing to help application partners such as yourselves to take advantage of the cloud. And then I wanted to touch a little bit on virtualization at the end. Please feel free to ask any questions along the way, or you can ask questions at the end. I'm here all day. You can ask me at any time. No charge. Okay, so we start with cloud computing. This title, SaaS, which is software as a service, PaaS, platform as a service, DaaS, database as a service. Click here for your choice of cloud. It's a title that I really like. It's a title that I've used all around the world this year in my cloud presentation, so I kept this. But essentially, one thing that you see from the title is you can do many things with the cloud. And I want to do things a little differently today. Instead of doing the demo at the end, I wanted to do the demo at the start to make sure everybody's awake and make sure that everybody follows along with this demo. Okay? So what I'm going to demonstrate is how InterSystems is working on creating a framework for you to launch Cache or Ensemble in the cloud with one click. Okay? So this is basically from scratch, no system in the cloud, to having a running Ensemble or Cache system in the cloud. And then I'll show you how you can use that same framework to extend and add your application on top of that, so that you can then deliver your solutions with basically a single click very, very quickly to your customers. So let's go into this demo. And I'll cover details about the framework a little bit later. Let's just start with the demo here. Okay, so bear with me 1 second. Let's see how this works. Okay, it's working. Good. Okay, so don't worry about all the stuff that you see here. I'll walk you through it. The main thing is, first of all, I'm logged into this portal for this company called RightScale. Okay, have anybody heard of RightScale? Here? No? Okay. Okay, one person. Good. So I'm not alone. RightScale is the world's leading cloud service management provider. What do? They do not provide a cloud. They do not provide infrastructure. They do not provide platform. All they provide is a framework to make it easy for people such as InterSystems and yourself to quickly launch and manage applications in the cloud. And RightScale is one of many cloud service providers, but it's the #1 worldwide. RightScale estimates that roughly 4% of all of the traffic in the internet, it goes through servers that are managed by the RightScale framework. They don't supply the servers, they just give the tools that you can use to manage the servers. So everybody's familiar with Facebook? Yes? There's this company called Zynga. Have you heard of Zynga? Farmville is a game that they made for Facebook. I don't know if you guys have heard of Farmville here, but it's very popular in the US. Basically, it's a very silly game, I think, where you create a farm, you build a farm, and then you go and buy some cows, and you buy some chickens, and then you plant some vegetables, and you water it every day, and stuff grows, then you sell it. So it's a silly game, but it's very popular. You know, hundreds of millions of users, and these users just sign up up every day. 100,000 new users sign up. So Zynga needed a way to have scalability very quickly. So they started looking at cloud solutions, and they found RightScale. So using RightScale's technologies, they're able to launch 1,000 new servers in 3 minutes. Okay, this is great. This is fantastic technology. So when I did some research, I wanted to find something that would make it easy for you to launch systems in the cloud. And we found RightScale. So we have a partnership with RightScale. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But I want to show you the demo first. Don't worry about all the details. There's a lot of things going on here. There's documentation that's available to you that you can look at and reference. I simply want to add a new server. I want to add a new cache server. So I'm going to say, click the Add Server button. Now it's going to give me some choices. So this is also the beauty of RightScale. In RightScale, I can write my script to create cache and launch cache once, and I can use it across all of the clouds that RightScale offers management for. So right now, I have linked to Amazon Web Services. And Amazon Web Services, or EC2, has the following regions. They have one in Singapore, Tokyo, European Union, that's in Dublin, Ireland, Sao Paulo, Brazil, US East, US West, and US Oregon. So what I'm going to do is obviously pick Tokyo, because we're in Tokyo. And I'll say continue. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Now it's going to ask me, what recipe do you want to use? Okay, so right now you'll see that there's two recipes here, cache and ensemble. I'm going to pick cache. And I'm going to say server details. Okay, now it's going to ask me some basic information to set up the server using my Amazon credentials. So I just have to provide some basic information like an SSH key, which allows me to talk to my Amazon account. Again, don't worry about these details. They're all documented. I just want to show you how easy it is. Okay? I want to pick this thing called a security group, which tells me which ports to open, which ports to allow on the server once it's launched. So I do things like 1972, 57772, port 23 for Telnet, those kinds of things. And I say, okay, launch. Now this is where it gets interesting. What it's going to give me now is a list of inputs that I can pick and choose. And I can change if I want to change them, or I can just take the default. Again, don't worry about the details of the inputs. It's all very well documented. I just want to show you how easy this is. I'm going to change 2 or 3 inputs. The first thing I'm going to change is I'm going to change telnet to yes, because I want to, for demonstration purposes, I want to telnet to this machine at the end of the presentation, because it takes about 20 minutes for the machine to get launched and cache to get set up. Okay. I'm also going to go in and I'm going to say, okay, so here I have some options for my version. So 2012.1.2 or 2012.2 latest field test. I think I'm going to take 12.1.2. And then I'm going to go ahead and, since I have a license from InterSystems, because I work at InterSystems, I am going to provide a license. So when the system gets set up and launched, it'll automatically activate the license. We don't have to do anything else. But this is optional. You can launch a system without a license, and you get restricted access. So you can have only 2 processes running, and et cetera, just as you install a normal system. And that's it. Everything else I'm going to take as default, and I'm going to say save and launch. And if everything goes well, in 20 minutes, we should have a fully functioning server launched in the Amazon EC2 environment in Tokyo. And we should be able to telnet to it. We should be able to open system management portal to it, etc. So okay, so it says launched. Okay, so now it's coming back to this page, and it says it's booting. Okay. Now I want to show you, I already have a few other systems that are in Tokyo that are running right now. And there's a cache system that's running, and there's an ensemble system that's running. So I'm going to connect to this cache system just to show you that it actually really works and really exists. So I'm just going to do a simple telnet because I enabled telnet for that. And there it is. It's let me in into this Amazon environment. So it's running on some Amazon system somewhere in the Tokyo region. And I launched it 20 minutes before the session just for demonstration purposes. So if everything goes well, by the time we get done with this session, we should be able to go back and see this new instance and do the same thing, telnet to it, and connect to it and make sure that it's running. Okay, so back to the presentation. All right, so that was a quick demo, and now we'll go into the details of how pieces of that framework can help you. So the first thing is cloud computing is a big word that has a lot of hype. It's used a lot. Everybody wants to do cloud computing, although nobody understands what cloud computing is. But since everyone else is doing it, I want to do it, right? So essentially, what cloud computing is turned into is a big sort of a mixture of things. It means many different things to many different people. And the key is that that's all fine. The key is if you want to use cloud computing, you need to understand what it means for you, for your application, for your services, okay? So there are many definitions, okay? You can find, if you go to Google and you put in cloud computing, you can find many, many, many definitions. There's this one from a Forrester Research group based in the UK that I find really good. Not because of, not because it's better than the rest of them or it shows you something that others don't, but there's some valuable words in here. So I'll read it out and then I'll tell you the valuable words. So Paul says, cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider integration. Okay? Many words, they all sort of come together. But I think that the toughest thing to do is what is highlighted, is to provide a way to rapidly provision and release these systems with minimal management effort. Okay? So cloud service provider like Amazon, for example, gives you all of the tools to manually create and launch servers. But the key word there is manual. Okay? There's a lot of work. Has anyone tried to launch a system in the Amazon EC2 environment? Anyone tried? No? Okay. It's a lot of work. There are a lot of steps you have to follow. And I think that it's a barrier to entry. It makes it hard for people such as yourselves, people such as InterSystems, to take advantage of the features of the cloud. So what we want to do is we want to take that one aspect and make it easy for us and for you to launch, to provision and launch these systems with minimal effort. So this is where we pick the right scale framework.